Can you outline how the department's plans to support states implementing evidence-based literacy strategies, particularly in rural?
At a Senate Appropriations Committee hearing, Senator John Boozman pressed Education Secretary Linda McMahon on one issue that affects millions of American students every single day: literacy. And honestly, this exchange was less about politics and more about whether schools are actually using methods that work.
Thank you. Senator Boozman.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate all of your hard work.
Yeah.
I do want to associate myself with those that are in support of TRIO. The TRIO programs in Arkansas have been a game changer in helping low-income and first-generation students not only access higher education, but also succeed once they are there. I appreciate the conversations that we've had regarding and surrounding and strengthening TRIO, and I hope that we can continue to collaborate to ensure these programs continue to effectively serve students who need them most. I also want to thank you for being in Little Rock and doing a roundtable. That was very much appreciated, and I think that everyone really enjoyed it. Across the country, too many students are not proficient in reading and math. Arkansas has made a strong commitment to the science of reading to ensure students are reading on grade level by third grade, and we appreciate the department's recognition of that work. Can you outline how the department's plans to support states implementing evidence-based literacy strategies, particularly in rural communities, and help drive a return to fundamentals that improve student outcomes?
Well, sir, as you know, the Department of Education really does not control curriculum in different states, but what our support is, as part of the $2 billion block grant that we have talked about under our budget proposal, we are asking and requiring that 25% of that grant for the states who receive that money be reserved for literacy education, another 25% for numeracy, encouraging them to adopt their programs and to be able to do the research. So I think that is showing the department's focus on making sure that these programs can be looked at and developed, because there's so much science now that has proved the success and efficacy of these programs. Many states are adopting them, putting them into place. You know, governors are competitive, and superintendents of schools are competitive. They don't want other states to succeed and get ahead of them, especially with programs that are working. And how can they be incorporated into their states, and how can they can have their teachers participate in programs to learn how to teach these new systems. And I have now, in my opportunity of visiting schools, I have been in schools where teachers are actually, again, teaching phonetic sounding of words, and so that students can decode these words and are really learning to read faster. Many of them reading now proficiently at end of first grade and not waiting till third grade to be proficient. So we know the system works. We want to encourage states to adopt these. We want to help through the grant process, and with these caveats of reserving these amounts of money, emphasize the importance of states accepting these programs.
Very good. We frequently hear from advocacy groups representing vulnerable populations like students with disability and low-income students. I want to give you the opportunity to share with everyone how your budget proposal prioritizes and protects those students.
The students from low income?
Yes, low income.
Well, Title A funding.
Disabilities.
Yeah, well, let's look at Title A funding first. That's unchanged in our budget proposal. It's level funded, so that folks can, understand that we're not in any way impacting that or asking for any kind of reduction. We have historic recommendation for IDA funding, which is $500 million more for students with disabilities. And also in the One Big Beautiful Bill, or the Working Families Tax Cut Program, as we look in the adoption of the tax-free portion of granting states the opportunity to opt into the programs whereby the private sector can can contribute money to scholarship granting organizations. That's money that comes in that's from the private sector, not from taxpayer dollars. Those scholarship granting organizations can also then give money to families who are applying for those loans, and students that have disabilities can get special services, additional equipment that they need. Governors have to opt into these programs. I can't imagine why a governor wouldn't, but there are opportunities for our children with disabilities to have improvements.
Very good. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Boozman asked a straightforward question. Can the Department of Education clearly outline evidence-based literacy strategies that are proven to help students read better? That sounds simple, but it gets right to the center of a major debate happening across the country right now. Parents, teachers, and lawmakers are all asking why so many students are still struggling with basic reading skills despite years of education funding and reform efforts. McMahon responded by talking about the importance of phonics, structured literacy, teacher training, and using research-backed instruction instead of experimental methods that haven't delivered strong results. The phrase evidence-based kept coming up because lawmakers want schools using strategies supported by actual classroom outcomes, not trends, not theories, and not political messaging. One of the biggest concerns raised during discussions like this is the nationwide reading decline seen after the pandemic. Test scores in many states dropped sharply, and educators are still trying to recover lost learning time. Boozman appeared focused on accountability. If taxpayers are funding education programs, where is the measurable progress? What makes this hearing interesting is that literacy has become one of the few education topics drawing bipartisan attention. Republicans and Democrats may disagree on a lot, but many lawmakers now agree that students need stronger foundational reading instruction early in life. If children cannot read fluently by the time they leave elementary school, nearly every other subject becomes harder later on. Another major issue here is teacher preparation. McMahon emphasized that educators need better support and training to implement structured literacy programs correctly. Because even the best reading strategy can fail if teachers are not given the tools, curriculum, or classroom resources to make it effective. Boozman's questioning also reflected growing frustration from parents who feel schools spent years experimenting with approaches that did not improve literacy outcomes. Many families now want clearer standards, measurable benchmarks, and more transparency about what is actually being taught in classrooms. In the end, this hearing wasn't just another Washington back and forth. It highlighted a serious national concern about reading, education quality, and whether students are truly being prepared for the future. Because when lawmakers start asking for evidence-based results, it usually means patience is running out, and they want proof that these strategies are actually helping kids succeed.